Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Good evening, everybody. I want to see what's going on. I know what's going on. A lot of stuff's going on, but who in the world is Ike Pearl Nutter? I'll get back to that in a minute, but I just want to see if anybody can put in the comments if they're watching after the broadcast, and I appreciate that. If anybody watches after the broadcast and everybody's showing up tonight, I appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up if you feel like I deserve one, or thumbs down if you think I deserve one. Hi, Nikki, how are you doing? So, anyway, some more people get in, and I'll see. I got a notion about that name, and it was interesting. The circumstances. Hi, Donna, how are you doing? Rubber Toe, how are you? So, we saw Mr. T's giving his speech, and there were a lot of interesting little things in there. But he does drive home the same points over and over, as we know, repetition. That's what the mainstream media has been doing for decades and decades and decades. So, plus we got a lot of people who need to pay attention that haven't been paying attention. Well, just like we were told in the posts, between the stresses of both spouses having to work jobs, all the added pressures that get dumped on families that we didn't have to worry about in the past. Bills used to pay 3-4 bills a month. You know, you paid your mortgage payment. A lot of people not that long ago in the Appalachian Mountains didn't have electric bills. You know, they pretty much had to worry about taking care of their crops and taking care of their daily life. They didn't have all these, I got a cable bill. Okay, I got a tax bill for the 2 cars I own that I'll never own because I got to pay every year taxes. I got taxes on April 15th. I got my house payment. I got my insurance payment. I got this, that, and on it goes. People, politics takes a back seat, or what they think is politics. But we know that in this point in time, it's more than politics. Okay, it's our way of life. It's our civilization. It's our culture. And after hearing a lot of the stuff that has been coming out for more and more normal people to hear, that we've been hearing for decades and scared of, now this majority of people who have been too busy to pay attention have been paying attention, or starting to pay attention. They're going to realize that our way of life is in mortal danger. Okay. When you have Kamala Harris saying, everybody gets electric cars and everybody does this and that, and we reduce the population, then more of our children can breathe clean air. And you have either a laugh track, an applause track, somebody presses the button and you think everybody's applauding, or they have actually gathered enough ninnies in an audience that applaud their own proposed demise. How do you lower population? How's that work? Okay, somebody's got to go, right? But the beautiful people don't think it's them. They always think it's going to be somebody else. So, boy, I haven't had a chance to say hi, and so many people have come in. Let me see mine. Sherry, how are you doing? Randy from Niagara Falls, welcome aboard. Hi, B-Dog. David. Mary, Lone Wolf. Hi, Kim. How are you? Henri, Im, Jason. Nice to see you. Let's see. Finding Dory. Nice to see you again, Dory. Brighter day. Cameraman's in the house. Lucy. So, yeah, Nikki had a good show tonight, and I have to go back and listen to some of them because you played a Bumble channel. Oh, Okay. I'm gonna have to try to do a simulcast on Bumble and Utizzle, but we'll see how that comes along in the future. Randy said, whoa, where'd my chats go? Randy said he used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. Oh, okay. Well, come on. Got to get with the program. And limit your emojis to 3. Appreciate it. Hi, Isla. Yeah. Okay. Good. Everything's good. Yeah, we get scrutinized, and as some of you may and may not have heard, like Red lost his channel, Red Steptacker. That's history. It's his 14th channel that is gone. So he's on Alice in Intel Land now, along with his fun channel. So yeah, you never know when they're going to strike. So we got to be careful with our messages, but still have fun for sure. And I came up with a new word. What was that word? Let me see. Yeah, I was talking about when I talk about people in Hollywood, I call them creepophiles. Creepophiles. And we all know what that means, right? With the Hollywood crowd, creepophiles. And you don't even have to mess around with spelling on that. It is what it is. Creeps and files. So a lot of little messages are coming out. And I tell you, this stuff with Tucker Carlson, what an education people are getting. And what they're doing with that situation. In case there's people out there saying, I don't like the way things are going, but I can't stand Trump. You know, for whatever reason. Excuse me while I have a sip of my coffee. They're not tuned in. They think he's a baddie. They don't pay attention to the fact that after 7 years, 6 years, it's proven that the Russia thing was a construct, a lie, all the other things they threw at him to smear him. People haven't paid attention to the fact that it's being exposed as lies, and that these current attacks on him are being exposed as nothing more than criminal attempts to interfere with what we do, all right, how we roll every 4 years. So so they still hate Trump. So those are the people. I think this Tucker Carlson thing is designed to reach out to, where they say, well, I don't like what's going on in the White House. I don't like what's going on in foreign policy. I talked to my friends who saw that movie, Sound of Freedom. I think I'm going to watch it myself. It's awful. What's happening? Something's got to be done about it, but I don't like Trump. Well, let's put up every choice you got. Okay? Put them all up there. Put Kamala up there. Put Joe up there. Put Mike Pence. Put Tim Scott. Put Chris Christie up. Put them all up there. And listen to them. If you want to find somebody else besides Trump, guess what? There's only one choice for a rational person that wants these types of horrors to stop. So that's what this is all about, folks. Because I was talking to my plumber Intel, and the question was, you know, why are they doing it? Why is Mike Pence at 1% even doing this? Why is Asa Hutchinson at 0% even doing this? Going before Tucker. It's to show all the other choices, so it cannot be said down the road that there was a choice nobody got to make because somebody was held back or whatever. Throw them all out there, even Bobby Kennedy, you know, but he's over on the Democrat side and they're trying to silence him. But yeah, give him as much screen time as possible, because as things keep coming out, drip, 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 to a flood of information that people cannot ignore, and they see all the choices, they will see there's only one way. One way is Mr. T. Even VJ, is that how you say his name, VJ? Yeah, he's a good guy. He's singing Trump's song. He's on point with everything Trump likes. He's going to be the second place person in the Republican nomination. But because of his inexperience, his youth, his lack of standing as a statesman, not as a pejorative, I'm going to say, but compared to Trump, he is a lightweight, a nice guy. But he doesn't have the gravitas and the experience and the ability to knock the hell out of people like Trump has. And that's why Trump's not participating. Somebody was saying, oh, Trump needs to do it. He needs to, I forget who was saying, one of these talking heads. But no, let them have their best shot without any interference from Trump. Let them put their best foot forward in front of the American people. It needs to be without a doubt that the best choice is Mr. T to a rational person. How you doing, Doc? How you doing, Mike? Reba. Randy says, Lockport in my backyard. I don't get that, but welcome aboard. Oh, my goodness. Hope they don't try that again, Donna, but you never know. You never know. They've got every card. They're going to try to play every card they can play. It's not like they're going to say, gee whiz, you know, they really got us now. We're just going to give up. No, they're fighting for their very existence. And the people that have kept up with us for a while know without a doubt that is where it stands. They're fighting for their very existence because of the things they've done that cannot go unaddressed. Hi, Melvita. That's right, Diane. Hollywood is completely shutting down. The Creepo Files. And it's just like late night TV, same thing. They say it's a strike. Right after that lawsuit got announced, they shut down all the late night stuff, claiming it was a strike. Well, they're getting themselves out of the spotlight because the details of that Saturday Night Live lawsuit is going to anger a lot of people. The testimony, okay, and the evidence. How many of you heard Jim Caviezel say, oh, I was at a screening and I noticed at one point everybody started talking and mumbling to each other in the theater. And he asked about it, and that people said, oh, that's when they were talking about Epstein, okay, and his island. And Caviezel said, well, yeah, we busted up a pedo ring on a island, but there's a lot more islands than just Epstein. A lot more islands out there that has this stuff going on. So I tell you, on one of my last broadcasts, hi 13BLT. One of my last broadcasts I did, I put a picture up of a person with a helmet on, and it said the definition of a warrior. A warrior was selfless. Okay. He does things for honor and country. Remember that? Well, when Mr. T was given his presentation, he told him at the Turning Point USA, you all are young warriors, conservative warriors. He said, it's true, you are. And he said it a couple of times. I always feel good when I bring something up and then I hear it confirmed by Mr. T. That's right, B-Dog. They were, clandestine put out quite a bit on that, about what they were developing over there in Ukrizzle. So let me see. He's different on Twitter. It's BIO clandestine on Twitter, but he also posted stuff on Truth, and that's what he was talking about. How they are designing things genetically to go after people with Russian heritage. Yes, right, B-Dog. Island of Hades, one of them. One of many. Hi, Mary. You're not rational because you're following Vivek closely. Well, sure, you're rational. But no, I'm saying who's going to win the presidency? Who's the only rational choice to vote for to actually take the presidency? The majority of votes of the American people, without a doubt. It's not going to be Vivek. He's a nice person. So's Tim Scott. But the bottom line is he ain't going to win 2024. I don't care what happens. And we need a leg breaker. We don't need nice people. This is for civilization. This is our shot. 2024. People say, well, we won't even make it to the election. Maybe that's so. But things have got to get straightened out, I'll put it that way, by 2024, or we won't have a country. So people don't take things personally in the when I make a comment. I'm saying if we want to win, without a doubt, the only choice is Trump. There are plenty of nice people out there who believe in the same things, but they're not a heavy hitter. They don't have the gravitas. And yes, Kim, he would do well in a Mr. T administration. Of course, people like that don't get cast to the wayside. Yeah, they could blame it on the sun, but the thing is, all this motions, all these people with 0%, 1%, 10%, whatever, none of them are bringing up the fact that if they steal it, what good is any of this? Any of them running? None of them are bringing that up, except Vivek and Mr. T. The rest are kind of dancing around it. I think Tim Scott alluded to it. But yeah, we got to fix the last one. And what I mean by that is making sure it never happens again and the people that were involved are prosecuted. Okay? That's right. We got to have a future. Nikki's right. And I said that a long time ago. I said, Mr. T's not going to be around forever. But now is the time and the hour. And he is the man of the hour. He's already won twice. He's already won twice. And there's nobody can fill his shoes. And the thing is, that's right, Nikki. He's got to win 2024 to drain that cesspool. They're all lined up, in my personal opinion. They're all lined up to fall. And hi, Island Girl. Hi, Jersey Joe. And we don't have 250,000 sealed indictments for nothing, okay? And each day and each week that goes by and they try a new stunt, there are more people coming out of the woodwork where, with a certainty, evidence, we know we have people that don't belong in positions of public trust. And, hey, they start ratting out on each other, and we got to clean them all out. And Mr. T is going to hit the ground running. And that is what is going to be what I mean by a rational person realizing throwing our weight behind Trump is the only choice for us, because he's the one that set all this stuff up. People got to look at Barr, they look at Sessions, they look at Christopher Wray, even Pence. Trump didn't go into that administration with his pants down by himself and everybody stabbing him in the back and just fighting by himself. The more you look at it, the more you see, just like Bannon was saying, they've been set up, they've walked into a trap, and it's getting ready to be sprung. And we will be seeing in a favorable light these people, many of us saw, turned like Sessions, like Barr, okay? And I'll use Megyn Kelly as an example. Trump was rehabilitating her during his speech. He mentioned her 2 or 3 times. And things can be undone, okay? With the spat they had back in 2016, where you kind of had Fox News appear to be not 100% for Trump, that expanded the viewership. If Fox News was expressly appearing to be 100% for Trump 100% of the time, they would have bolstered CNN and MSNBC by running viewers over to them. Instead, you had people acting up like in Megyn Kelly and others I can mention, where people stayed with Fox that may have run off and made CNN and MSNBC more money and reduced the number of groups of people Trump's message got to. Down the road, Megyn Kelly can be rehabilitated, but I think she was performing a role at that time, and she's being rehabilitated now. See how it's played? It's called a plant. Christina says 20. I've heard a lot of people say 2023. If it happens to 2023, that'd be great. That'd be great. But I have said, and Mr. T has said many times, this can never happen again. And I personally feel that things have not gotten bad enough to where people understand the gravity of the situation. But they will. Just like Mr. T said, Americans haven't felt it yet, but they will. And I don't think that it's going to get through enough heads. I don't think there's going to be enough people educated by the time 2023 is finished. I think we're going to be sitting here just like this time next year. But then again, you never show your plans. You never give people a heads up. You hit them when they least expect it, right? There you go, hilarious. I asked that at the beginning. Who is Isaac Perlmutter? And then I got off on tangent, and I wanted to wait for more people because Mr. T brought up Isaac Perlmutter. Did you all catch that? Who is Isaac Perlmutter? Before he moves into the White House. Oh, he said he needed to be president to do it. But he said he will do it before now. Him. Yeah, that nursing home, yikes smell. Hi, David. How are you doing? They will definitely be rearranged. The three-letter agencies will definitely be rearranged. Hilarious Sue says Isaac Perlmutter is an Israeli-American billionaire, businessman, and financier. Well, Mr. T pointed out that he was very heavily involved with Disney, but he was present for Mr. T's speech at Turning Point USA. And Disney has been taking a beating at the box office, and they're going to continue to take a beating. And we got to see what I remember that the 17th Post said Disney was a distraction. You can look that up. You put that word in there, Disney was a distraction, you'll see the Post. It may be a way of bleeding the NGOs, okay, and these ESG companies, bleeding them out by letting Disney step in it like they've been stepping in it. I don't know. This is a very sophisticated operation. Oh, he said if he wins, he'll stop it before the inauguration. Oh, good. Well, he'll have the power of presidency. That's right, Jason. People aren't uncomfortable yet. That's what Mr. T meant, because the bottom line is all the veneer that the news agencies put on this country's in mortal danger. Western civilization is in mortal danger. But there's this facade of normalcy that's got to be broken through. And people need to realize the gravity of the situation. And, you know, when you think, you hear people say, I'm sick of this, I don't want to go through it anymore. Think about this. Look at it this way. You're watching what a lot of people call the old guard being destroyed. You're watching institutions that have fraudulently flourished and been harming our culture, society, and political system for decades being exposed and destroyed. Enjoy every minute of it. Don't wish your life away to hurry this thing up. And as we've been told in the past through the Q drops, people who want stuff to happen now don't have any part of this discussion, don't belong in this discussion, because the people have to be shown. You can't tell them. That's been said 1,000 times. So remember, this is historical. We're going to look back at it and go, holy cow, now I see why that was done this way. Now I see why this was done that way. Because it's a process. It's an educational process. And relish it, because it's historical. It is going to be biblical. It's biblical right now. The calm before the storm was in 2017. when Mr. T said those exact words in the Oval Office during the photo shoot with all the military leaders. That was a calm before the storm. We're in it right now. And so, yeah, relish it and look for answers as to what's going on. Like I said, with this procession we've been seeing with Tucker Carlson, what is being put out there, not so much for us, but for the rest of the country, neighbors that haven't heard anything about the island, anything about what's been going on in Haiti. They really don't believe how corrupt the Clintons were. They really don't believe that the three-letter agencies would actually do what they did to Robert F. Kennedy. They really don't believe that there are organizations out there that actually do want to drastically lower the world population. Those are the people that we got to break the walls down of censorship and get it through their head. Yes, there are people who want to restrict what you eat, who want to control every damn thing you do. And if they had their way, you wouldn't even be on the face of this earth, and they would laugh their asses off if they could get rid of you. That's the fact. Vicious and evil people. That's what Mr. T said during the interview just, with Maria Bartiromo today. People don't realize how vicious the world is what he said. So these people need to realize. And it can't be a shock. Like I said way early in my broadcast, when they did the War of the Worlds radio broadcast, Orson Welles was reading the play War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, and people were committing suicide. People were gathering their family up and packing their cars and taking off, trying to run away from the alien invasion. They believed it. When King Kong came out in the early 1930s, people were passing out in the street after they got out of the theater. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. It shocked them, shocked the system. But we're talking about reality. We're talking about real things that are going to be coming out. And a majority of it's got to be kept quiet. But what is going to be let out is going to be very upsetting and will shock the majority of the population. So it's coming out little by little. And it's going to start speeding up. Well, I hope I didn't make anybody mad. Where did one person go? Oh, well. I tell people don't take things personal, personally. But sometimes they do. So nothing I can do about that. Yes, Mucks. Yeah, that's right. At the same time, it needs to come out. You won't be seeing any UFOs explore. Red. I'm just reading the chats, folks. Well, I heard about this Sound of Freedom that People are making reviews, and there's like a coordinated, best way I could put it is attacks on the movies, and they all sound the same. We already know that they buy bots and they pre-program the bots, and that all the quote powers that be are attacking the movie. So go look at reviews and you'll see how cheaply done these bots and rehearsed discrediting of the movie Sound of Freedom. And what another thing that tells you that people are coming around. I'm going to use that term, coming around, because they suppress you in the algorithm if you say the other way. But people are coming around because you look what happened with this thing Zuckerberg put out, Threads. It's already lost 50% of its traffic, and it's only been up for what, a week and a half? This thing Zuckerberg, they sit there and they scrape data from Twitter, and probably been on True Social too. I think I had one of those data scrapers join my channel, and I blocked them. But anyway, they took off. Threads is a new thing to get on, and then the story came out about the 3 6s to make up the symbol, that they're going to steal your data whether you give them permission or not. What everybody heard about the FBI monitoring everything that was happening on Twitter. Christopher Wray in Congress admitted it. So there's no doubt it's not a conspiracy. So what happens? The use of this brand new shiny site called Threads collapses. Hi, Rick. How are you doing? Pappy Two Bears. Well, Dottie, you're right. It's being held up by those that will not come around, but they are coming around. But it's like I mentioned, they constructed our society so you're constantly on a treadmill. The husband and the wife have to work jobs. They piled all this responsibility, all these duties and needs and stuff that you have to do now, to where you're just happy to get down, sit down, and have a beer and watch TV. But then they infested the television with a bunch of garbage. So we got to get through all that, because most people are good. And when most people are shown the real story, they're going to come around. Okay, let's see. Julie, so you went and saw the movie too. Okay. He even was afraid to take a bath after seeing Jaws. That's right. Well, it did. That's a good example of how, they get called cheap, but hey, anybody that watched the movie Jaws with a normal brain would, when they went to the beach, they'd be going, I'll just sit here on the sand. Yeah. So, and we already know what War of the Worlds and King Kong did to people's psychology. So, hi, Watt, how you doing? So, yeah, we're getting control of that back. With Hollywood getting shut down, basically, I really found it interesting that Mr. T brought up this person who was attending his speech called Ike Perlmutter, a big shareholder in Disney, and all the problems Disney's having. I think they're bleeding these elites and breaking the back of a lot of shell corporations that have been financing this ESG and counterculture. Okay, does that make sense to you all, folks? And Nutter was born in 42, Hilaria said, 1942. So that would make him well into his 80s. So yeah, I could see a billionaire being approached with, hey, do you want to get involved with a corporation that is being used by Marxists and communists to destroy our culture? And do you want to help us to bleed that company and expose all the communists, Marxists, and maniacs? And if I was 85-year-old billionaire, I'd say, oh, yeah, I'll do it. I'll help you. So I think, yeah, Mr. T gave him a shout out for a reason, because the performance of Disney and a lot of these Hollywood studios is so rank. I mean, it seems to me like they're just being set up to destroy themselves. As the 17th letter said, they will collapse under the weight of their own illegality. Holy cow. What's going on? My chats are froze up again. There we go. Hi, Outlandish. How are you? Sissy, how you doing? That's right. People are going to need help when this stuff comes out. Well, I was thinking about that my last broadcast. Sissy, I said a lot of people are going to be comforted by us not being freaked out. That's why I warn people away when the black cats throw crazy stuff in there and take our focus away and send us down other rabbit holes. We got to be focused for when they do a distraction and we're calm and understand what's happening. The people that are freaking out are going to take comfort from the fact that we can explain to them in a rational way what's happening. So that's how we can help keep things civil. By not losing our grounding. We've got to stay grounded. Hi, Tennessee. How are you doing? Yes, Mary, that's right. Just because someone has a different opinion doesn't mean they're angry. $1975. Is that when Jaws came out? I mean, even with special effects kind of corny as it was, we look at it now. But even if a person that's never seen that movie sees it now, Jaws would make them really go about going to the beach. So, anyway, it's going to be interesting because have you all seen the pictures of the Snow White movie that Disney's got in production, going to put out? They really have nothing on the horizon to make them money. I mean, they're losing across the board because they've gone all in with this counterculture woke garbage. And did you all catch when Mr. T said, I wish I had got a clip of that. Mr. T, he said it twice. It had to be. It had to be. And we can finish the sentence, but he's reiterating what was said many times in Q posts, but also my theme of what I'm saying tonight, the way things have to be. Looking at the situation, what is at stake, and what all our choices are, even for the people that hate Trump to no end. If their choices are Biden or Trump, anybody who is informed and has a heart, it's got to be Trump. We're going to see things, we're going to hear things, we're going to go through things that are going to leave no doubt, not only about the, quote, eviction of Biden from the White House. The fact that people have to be punished. People have to meet the consequences of their actions as prescribed by law. And this country's got to be unified in that notion, because nobody can walk away from this. So it's got to be a lot more time spent on exposing and explaining this stuff. Even more so, that fact even more so outlines the importance of not getting knocked off track with crazy Mike Penny talk, Phil Godlewski talk, any of that kind of crap. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, we're trying to get 50-60% of the population to realize there's cocaine in the White House and nobody's doing nothing about it. How are we going to get that message out if we've got 20% of the population running around saying there's tunnels under the White House 6 miles deep with lizard people? We can't even get them to believe there's cocaine in there and how serious that is. So if you know anyone who's been drawn into that type of discussion, I think they need to hear that stuff is put out for them to repeat, so no one will take them seriously, and no one will take Mr. T's mission seriously. And I see a lot of people dropped off because they believe in 6 mile deep tunnels under the White House, that Mr. T served in the White House with this stinking science fiction nightmare going on underneath his feet, and he didn't do nothing about it. And people take that to heart and repeat that kind of stuff. Well, you're not doing any favors, And you're not doing any favors for those kids in Colombia, those kids in Haiti. And let's just say, okay, it's true. There's 6 mile deep tunnels under the White House with lizard people. Why bring that up if it's going to distract from credibility and delay saving those kids that Jim Caviezel and Ballard showed us are suffering every day? So I'm telling you, sure as I'm sitting in this chair, a lot of stuff that gets thrown out there about Princess Di, Elvis, all this other crap is designed to discredit us and to delay the true message getting out about human trafficking, about the majority of the people in high places in our government and governments around this world are evil. They worship Satan. They're Marxists and communists. I mean, those are facts that can't be denied. And we're showing it every day. And that is enough to try to get people to swallow. Yeah, tunnels are real, Jerry. But lizards are not under the White House. Yeah, I said I saw a photograph of 1948 where they gutted the White House. Harry Truman had the entire White House gutted, and they dug down a classified level, okay? But it was more than 10 stories below the White House, has been excavated. And that was in 1947. The White House you're looking at now was completely gutted in the late 40s and early 50s. Harry Truman didn't even stay in the White House. It was a shell. Architects at the time said that the White House was only standing by sheer force of will. That's how far the structure had been degraded. So they gutted the whole thing and they went down. And I'm sure out too. And the other thing, Mr. T said, he's got not even a little doubt. Oh, Raising Cain story is my favorite story. Dale Earnhardt's alive. Red. Yeah, Diane, I like the Raising Cain story too. And you know what's big about that story? He didn't focus on this part of it very much. But in the past, what he said about the Raising Cain story in the past. Asked Raising Cain, how come we haven't gotten rid of these guys sooner? I mean, I've been putting out orders. I want this, and Raising Cain told him nobody communicated those orders to me, sir. Yeah, yes, Smuck says, give me a like. Hit the like button for Mountain Man, please. Thank you. Yes, Smucks. So anyway, what he was communicating then when Trump told that story in the past was that he had generals, as he said this time around, buffoons that were willfully ignoring his orders and disobeying his orders. And you know what that means, folks. So he's got the proof. Trump's got the proof. And I had some footage I was going to show you all where the Russian fighter jets were sending flares off in front of our drones in Syria, where we're not supposed to have a military presence anymore. So they defied his orders and bragged about it in an article written by a anonymous person. So I'm sure we'll be hearing story. That Raising Cain story, let me see, is going to be in history books. Debbie said Cain has a good story also. Yeah, I'm sure he does, and he'll be allowed to tell it for the history books. Oh gosh, Tennessee, that's right. That does sound sick. 47 was a popular year. Mr. T said he visited 17 times. Well, he said that Ballard and Caviezel are coming to Bedminster to do a private screening. So, like I said, pull up some of the reviews and you'll see they are bots. Somebody said, I meant to mention it in the comments of last week, that a person they knew said that if Trump won, he would K-I and then double L Trump himself. And I said, to, not use that word, put some vowels in or do something to mess with that word, but we still get the point. But if you do, I mean, I know people like that. I'm not close friends with them, but I do talk to people like that could possibly say that. I would stay away from people like that. Very politely stay away. If they're saying things like that, you can't say that about any president. But they are going to go. There's a lot of them. We're worried about our side not coming around or waking up. I'm going to say coming around from now on. But there's going to be a certain percentage of people that are going to be very, very nasty and vicious. That it doesn't matter what they see, what they're proven, they're going to be nasty and vicious and violent. So identify them and know to stay away. But if you do have a good relationship with them, you might as well tell them that, say, hey, if anybody would have said that about Obama, anybody would have said that about George Bush, anybody would have said that about Biden, just saying that type of thing can get you behind bars. Whether or not you think Trump is a really bad guy and all the news agencies agree with you or not, saying something flat out like that is enough to get you detained. So, yeah, if there's somebody you care about, gently correct them and tell them not to talk like that anymore. I meant to say something about that. That's right, Karen. Make memes makes the left cry. Steve Favreau, how you doing? The Black Pill. Hi, Cliff. Dottie's going Tuesday. Well, good. Well, they say that it's very tastefully handled as far as, it's not any visual, but people are going to get the point. And you can't let it tear your strength down. You gotta have it give you strength. Don't take a bath in it, and don't let your emotions victimize you. Draw strength. This is what we're fighting for. Not about how many scoops of ice cream the news says Donald Trump had. And the other thing he brought up again was childhood maladies. That's going to be investigated. He used a lot of other terms, but maladies, long-term, high blood pressure, diabetes, okay, morbid obesity, autism. These things didn't exist. Why? Why, since the 70s, 80s, 90s, this stuff has been exploding. And we saw in the posts, if you put in there hands in mouth, you'll read a post that says, what about these chemicals that they put in cleaning products? Okay. Chemicals go on the floor, baby gets put on the floor, baby puts hands in mouth. And I believe DuPont's going to have some problems over that, along with a lot of other companies. And he mentioned a natural constituency that Joe has. Natural constituency. I'm over now, so I'll get into that. That's a little bit more deeper. But remember, what he mentioned in the past speech was that China was going to come out with something on the Bidens. He said it wouldn't surprise him if China came out with some evidence that would destroy the Biden presidency, that the Biden's presidency would not survive. Remember that. That's still in the cards. When is that going to come out? So you think about all the stuff that we've been talking about for over a year. And before I ever came on the scene, all the things you all have been learning over the past 5, 6, 7 years, all that stuff needs to come out. Not the crazy stuff. Okay, but the fact that there are people that don't value human life, that there are people out there that take hormone supplements and they get them from little ones, the high quality. I mentioned that video. I tried to find it. I've tried a number of times. It was a fairly new video about a young Oriental man, or Asian man, I'm sorry, who was in DC, and something happened. His flight got delayed or something, and he ended up staying the night with some friends. And he was found expired, I'll put it that way. And 3 people were in the house. 2 of them were up-and-coming young DC lawyers. And I'll have to talk about this on Rumble. But if any of you all find that video, if you could put it in the comments, the title of the video, where the young man was found expired, and he was poked with a something you have in your kitchen to cut food up with, okay? And that the holes in the shirt didn't match the holes on his body. If you find a video like that, give it. Let me know the title of it in the comments. But I've got that is. I think that's been taken down, and I'll tell you why. If I ever find it, or if you find it, I want to do a little analysis of that video. It was a crime video, and you know how you watch crime videos, recommendations will come up for new crime videos. And also videos that you've already seen will pop up in the recommendations. This one hasn't. And it was only about a month old. So anyway, the Eisenhower model. Mr. T brought that up. That meant Eisenhower had 700 military personnel, maybe between 700 and 800 military personnel, and they deported between 2.5 and 3 million illegal Mexicans back in the 50s. Okay, he brought that up. So the bottom line is, sorry there. The bottom line is there's going to be stark choices. He's laying it out, and the people that are running, quote, against him can't argue with anything under Agenda 47. Not one thing. They cannot argue against the deportations. They cannot argue against completing the wall and securing the border. They can't argue against destroying the drug cartels in Latin America. They can't argue against going after the child traffickers. Can't argue against shutting down the National Education Association, okay, and escorting the blue hairs and other malcontents out of the buildings. They can't argue against getting rid of the communists, Marxists, and other maniacs out of our government. So the lines are being drawn, and America's going to have to make a choice. And it's about the very survival of not just this country, but of Western civilization. It's just that simple. And it a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, what I'm saying right now would have sounded to the average person, not everybody in the chats. To the average person, I would have sounded irrational, overreacting, okay, intolerant. But now it's getting to the point where the majority of Americans would agree with everything I just said and everything Trump has been saying. So, yeah. Sprinkle in there some of the other stuff I was talking about that the black hats try to get us to talk about, and nobody's going to take time of their day out of their day to listen to me. But for me to piggyback on the Sound of Freedom evidence, the Epstein evidence, okay, the Ghislaine Maxwell evidence, what's going on at the border, all the money the Bidens have stolen, the cocaine in the White House, all these things that regular people can grasp and understand and realize there's something very wrong. Yes, Nikki, drop your link for my Finding Dory, and yes, indeed. That's right, Hilarious. Hot water and soap is a good cleaner. No need for toxic chemicals. And my mom used to use vinegar for all kinds of stuff. Vinegar, way better than that stuff that burns your nose when you use it. You got to wear gloves or your hands get a rash. She would use vinegar and regular soap and hot water. You're exactly right, Hilarious. Oh, by the way, this is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I don't get anything from YouTube. I don't want to know my business. I don't allow monetization of this channel, and I don't do anything with PayPal because of their past support of alternative lifestyles, I'll say. So anyway, I've got a buy me a coffee link in the description. If anybody wants to help the channel out, it would be greatly appreciated. Put my ticker up there. Channel support link in the description. So, and Nikki, let's see if Nikki did you put your link in, Nikki? Let's see. Thank you, Nikki, for putting up putting the buy me a coffee link. Yeah, there you go. Nikki's got a link for her channel. She's a tireless mod on this channel. There you go. All right. So, not even a little doubt. Mr. T said he's got not even a little doubt. Did you notice he said tippy top? Hi, Ivana. We have the EU and UK taking 70% of our taxes right now. I don't doubt it. But did you all notice Mr. T said tippy top? Just for fun, folks. Just for fun, you can, let's see, what number was that? It was a post that was put up for somebody asked Mr. T if he would confirm if he was 17 plus, if he would use the words tippy top. And I think it was in, just put tippy top in and you'll see two posts if you put tippy top in. And the first post said it was requested and he did repeat the words. He confirmed he was Q plus. So, and I used the letter, I spoke the letter I shouldn't have, but I did. I'm sorry about that. Let's just see here. I'm just checking the chats. Tippy top, Debbie, is what you put in there, and it'll show you two posts. And just for fun, put in Warriors. You'll see some interesting stuff and some interesting links. Let me see. I copied one of the Warriors posts. Yes. You all ready for this? And this is about how many years old? 4 years old, this post. It's one of the ones you'll see when you put in Warriors. And let me just give you a little tip, folks. If you do that and read the posts, as I can't say it enough, read them for what they're worth. Click on the blue links that they give you. And just try to comprehend what's being told to you. Instead of before you comprehend what's being told to you, a lot of people try to get you to look elsewhere at everything but what the post is trying to tell you. They'll say, take this number and add to that number divided by 32 and then decode that number. No. When they haven't even understood what the person is saying. So, Patriots, you have been selected as, quote, threats and falsely labeled as, quote, foreign disinfo, unquote, agents, though they attempt to disguise at the bottom as not all. Remember, this is at least 4 years old. This is an attempt to target and remove by false pretense all threatening voices. Elimination of free speech to prevent loss of control. These actions are now being monitored and would strongly encourage forwarding this information to the appropriate members of Congress. Again, this is 4 years old. Senate and the media, we believe this is a, quote, test run to effectively silence the opposition while testing the potential media backlash and or, quote, official response. This attempt to remove silence, parentheses, fascism, Those who oppose their view narrative should further demonstrate their resolve to control the quote message, quote narrative, win at any cost. They are scared and desperate. So now, if you just read that post 4 years ago to somebody that didn't know anything was going on, they said, oh, why you read that stuff? You're so crazy. But now you read it and find out that Facebook, Twitter, and the platforms I won't mention, we're all being paid by the C.I.A. the FB.I. To take down voices or add voices or buying bots. And won't it be interesting to see who's putting up these bots that are bashing in the reviews the movie The Sound of Freedom? Who's paying for that? But now that we know all this, that post from 4 years ago makes perfect sense. That is, if when that post came out, the people that were reading it were not sent down some crazy rabbit hole where they didn't even understand what the post was trying to say. So anyway, just a little recreational research. You put in Guardians. I did that too. I'll get into that later. But you put in Warriors and just check out some of the highlighted stuff. It shows you a whole lot of Twitter accounts that were targeted 4 years ago that you can click on. It shows you articles, 2 articles that you'll find very interesting. But, hey, that's all water under the bridge, but it is information that is real and keep our feet on the ground. And you can forward those articles to Doubting Thomases if you have to. But I think by the time this operation is over with, there's going to be very few Doubting Thomases. I think what we'll be left with is the hopeless ones, the haters that no matter what they do or see, that do not care if there's thousands and thousands of little children in the situations like we already know about and what the movie is about. Even if it came down to saving those kids, they would still have so much hate in their hearts. Their hearts will be so hardened that they will not do the right thing. And hey, if you identify people like that in your life, get some distance. Hope that their hearts will find some direction. But I don't know. We'll see. That's right. The cat AI is a distinct system. Well, somebody with a clear head can outthink a goofy bot or some crazy statements made by AI. I saw where somebody was posting that they were going to try to rewrite the Bible with AI. Well, first of all, you just don't listen to it. You don't read it. That's for fools to read. Habsburgs, yeah. And the Roths. That's right, Ivana. They say the Habsburgs fell when King Wilhelm abdicated the throne after World War I, but no, they didn't. Well, they abdicated the throne, but they didn't disappear. I'll put it that way. So anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all spending your precious time with me. I'm just looking to see if anybody else caught anything from Mr. T's speech. I like the tippy top part, and I like the part where he let everybody know they were warriors. I went and checked out some posts about that. And he is making no bones about what he's going to do when he gets in there. He's got them all lined up. He's got them all identified. He's got a heck of a lot of them already with sealed indictments that all they got to do is open the indictments up and order the arrests. And I honestly feel that. I do not claim to have some knowledge except for what I see with my eyeballs and what I hear and know to be fact. I can go to a government website and see how many sealed indictments there are, how many have been unsealed. Okay. And it's a hell of a lot more than there were when all this started. The average was maybe 15, 20,000 all over the entire country up until this era that we're living in, this point of history that we're living in. And relish every minute of it. Try to learn as much as you can. Don't wish your life away. Don't try to rush this moment of history along. Watch this beautiful purpose, God's purpose, unfold in front of you so that you can pass it on from generation to generation the best you can. So that's the way you look at it, rather than being frustrated, rather than thinking things are taking so long. And just remember, what if she had won in 2016? What if Andrew Gillum had won in Florida? Okay, in 2018. Things like that. All that was stopped. And when you're talking about our very civilization, thousands of years of human civilization being at risk, hey, it had to be this way, folks. It had to be this way. So anyway, you all have a great night. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Trump calls White House tippy top shape. Well, he did put up that post where a woman said he was a real commander in chief, and he said thank you. And I checked. I think he took it down. But anyway, folks, you all have a great night. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And I'll be going live maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And I noticed on my past videos, I got like 25% are not subscribed. I'm like, what does that mean? Why? So the more people that subscribe, the more the video will get shown around. Hi, Angel. How you doing? So anyway, you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, everybody in the chats. Have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.